How Trump outsmarted the press by playing dumb. Imagine a scenario where the most uninformed person imaginable is elected president of the United States. In Hollywood, that would seem like satire. A politician so implausible it would be dismissed in a writer's room. And yet, America lived it. Donald Trump's presidency shattered expectations not by his intellect or policies, but by how he wielded ignorance as a tool. And how the White House press corps, the supposed watchdogs of democracy, became accessories to his daily theater. Before Trump, the notion of an intellectually deficient person being elected president raised fundamental storytelling questions. How would such a person win the office? How would he function on a day-to-day basis? For those of us who wrote political fiction, myself included, having penned episodes of The West Wing, we would have assumed that a dumb president would hide behind a smart staff, depend on a capable cabinet, and most certainly never speak off the cuff to reporters. Doing so would reveal the very flaw he was trying to conceal, his profound ignorance. But Trump changed that. He didn't hide. He charged straight into the spotlight, surrounded himself with enablers instead of experts, and spoke to the press with gleeful defiance, often revealing, rather than masking, his lack of understanding. And here's where the unimaginable happened. The press, who should have exposed this dysfunction, failed, repeatedly. Some individual journalists did remain committed to their craft, but in the gladiator pit that was Trump's White House, the rules changed. The smartest, toughest questions often went unheard, drowned out in the chaotic scrum of shout-outs and selective access. Take today's cabinet meeting, the first since Elon Musk left his unofficial seat at the table. It was a spectacle, as usual, and once again, Trump's performative presidency collided with the press corps' unprepared or unwilling to challenge him. At one point, Trump was asked a basic question: who ordered a pause in weapon shipments to Ukraine? A question any president should anticipate and answer. Trump's reply? I don't know. Why don't you tell me? Let that sink in. The President of the United States, asked about a major national security issue, flipped the question back, as if he were hosting a game show, not running a country. And the press? They took it, meekly. One reporter tried to offer a follow-up, but before she could, another journalist jumped in with the completely unrelated question, effectively saving Trump from the embarrassment of a real answer. In that moment, the press became accessories to Trump's manipulation, in both senses of the word. Enablers of his evasions, and decorative ornaments he flaunted to give the illusion of transparency. He uses them like props, cufflinks, and handbags, appearing to be held accountable, all while dodging every serious inquiry. Even when Trump is clearly bluffing, as with tariffs, he keeps saying the US is collecting record amounts of money from them, suggesting some foreign cash bonanza. And yet, not one reporter interjected with the truth that tariffs are taxes paid by Americans. Period. The money isn't coming in from overseas. It's coming out of American pockets. Businesses pay the tariffs, then pass the cost to consumers, your wallet, your groceries, your supplies. That's where the tariff burden lands. And yet, silence from the press. This isn't a technical detail. It's a fundamental economic reality. And the fact that it goes unchallenged again and again reveals a shocking lack of either understanding or courage within the press corps. Later in the same press event, Trump offered an impromptu history lesson. He claimed tariffs were brought in after the Great Depression as a way to try to save the economy. He said, they tried to bring back tariffs, but the whole thing was, this was after the Depression. A peep from the reporters. Here's the truth. The Smoot-Hawley tariffs were signed into law in 1930 by Republican President Herbert Hoover. They helped cause the Depression, not respond to it. They made it worse. They were a mistake one economists across the spectrum agree on. Yet the president mangled this fact in public, on camera, and no one corrected him. No one asked to follow up. The moment sailed by. Even the reporters, known for being tough on President Biden, didn't dare push back. One, in particular, known for aggressive exchanges with Biden, stood silent when Trump tossed the "why don't you tell me" line. Had Biden said that, there would have been uproar. But it was Trump. So, silence. The White House press corps has adjusted its behavior not to preserve journalistic integrity, but to preserve access. They're no longer doing their jobs, they're simply in the room. This is the degradation of the press in real time. And the public? They're not fooled. Polls show 81% of Americans are worried about the financial impact of tariffs. They get what's happening better than many of the reporters covering the White House. When Trump lies about tariffs, about history, about policy, the American people pay the price, and they know it. The media's job is to inform, challenge, and fact-check. But too often, that role has been abandoned. If there are reporters in that room who do understand how tariffs work, and who've been blocked from asking the right questions, this critique isn't meant for them. To those professionals, I offer a sincere apology, but the larger failure is undeniable. Trump has not only lied consistently, he's made lying look easy. Because the press rarely stops him, and in doing so, they've become complicit, accessories to ignorance. If Trump turned to a reporter and said, "Why don't you tell me about tariffs?" what would happen? Would anyone have the facts? Would anyone speak up? Or would they remain silent again?